about that? After 2.5 months of my YouTube page looking like a cobweb museum of laziness and procrastination, I realized that Kirby here from Superstar, yeah, that's pretty much been me for a little while. There are amazing indie games released every single month that get overlooked, so you know what? I need to get off my lazy butt and show you some more. And since a lot of these games are either pretty short or really hard to talk about without spoiling, it's perfect for some bite-sized searchlighting from this humble YouTuber. So let's not waste any more time and get to a few games I think you'll enjoy. I'm sure you'll definitely appreciate the asking price for all these games. Man, it's good to use that again. How about we start with the single most important asset to the entire World Wide Web? Giddies! Coming to us from... oh, good God. Coming to us from grimtoyz here. The Magnetic Cat is a puzzle platformer with a simple premise. You're this magnetic box feline that simply has to get from point A to point B, where I can only guess is trying to escape from science. Aren't we all? The whole shtick of the game is that while you're controlling the cat, the mouse also lets you control magnets. Adding these magnets to certain parts in the wall will allow them to reach magnetic keys, obstacles, turrets, and of course, your metal self. The more magnets you add, the less powerful each magnet's reach has. And I'm sure as many of you can guess, you use these magnets to avoid obstacles, grab keys, and get your furry butt to the door. Like a lot of games in this genre, its focus is on the interesting mechanic and seeing all the fun and clever ways that they can exploit it. And grimtoyz has enough variety in the game to know what levels go where for just the right balance where you don't notice any repetition. Which may sound a bit familiar to indie fans. And for that matter, Super Meat Boy's mechanics would sound a bit familiar too. Sure, this block-based style of puzzle platformer may have become a bit transparent amongst the browser scene. The new mechanic, look, and overall polish that the game has make these gripes more like nitpicks. With 30 unique levels to explore and solve, it's a fun time waster you can find at both Gamezhero.com and Congregate.com. So while the Magnetic Cat offers a fresh mechanic on a tried and true browser puzzle platformer, Chunkadelic has a fresh presentation on games of old. This little techno trip of nostalgia was made by two favorites here on the IGSL. Noel, creator of games like Abandoned and several collaborations like the Winnetron and Bit Collective, and Chevy, a fellow Winnipeg developer who made Fleabuster, winner of the Ludum Dare 21 competition I featured previously on the show. The game was made in another 48-hour game jam called Full Indie in Vancouver. Chunkadelic presents some of your favorite retro games in a very interesting way. It consists of 9 throwbacks such as Mega Man, Asteroids, and Breakout in a 3x3 block, almost like a tic-tac-toe board of your favorite retros. You start off at one game, each of the games lasting about 15 or so seconds, and when you win or lose, the next game you can choose will be on the block next to you on the grid. Unless you memorize that starting grid before you pick the next game, the next challenge is presented at somewhat random. The games themselves are fun WarioWare style throwbacks with good control and balance. It's all presented in Chevy Ray's signature ultra colorful techno space candy look. Does that description even exist? Of course it does, you're looking at it. The audio design is also really worth mentioning. It features classic bleeps and bloops from Kevin Regame and features some really awesome music from Swedish artist Rhymedcraft. Catchy and lively here. It's always good that after you hear a game's soundtrack, you go over and track down the artist who made it. Sometimes innovation isn't just how you approach gameplay mechanics, but how you approach non-linear structure. It literally mixes up every new playthrough and encourages the player to beat all the games in one sitting. Not always easy. Chunkadelic is one of those games that makes classic gameplay feel like a breath of fresh air. You can find this little gem at both Congregate.com and Newgrounds.com. Now for this last one is for the hardcore, and I do mean hardcore puzzle fans out there. According to a hopefully useful translator I found, this game describes itself as a, quote, puzzle game to work with. Oh, this is one you're definitely going to have to work with. The idea here is pretty simple. You have to move all the colored blocks into the places with flowers on them so they can all bloom into other flowers. You can switch the blocks from side to side, but not up and down. Once you have all the flowers bloomed, you can move on to the next level. Simple, right? The thing that makes the game really interesting is that right away, it's a tough nut to crack. Most games have an easy start and slowly build you up into the more difficult puzzles. The first time I played this game on the first level, I was already stumped. It took me 10 friggin' minutes to figure out the first puzzle. It's refreshing to see a puzzler that instead of going the overly easy route to guide the player along, it takes a more of an I wanna be the guy approach. Well, okay, maybe not that hardcore. The puzzles here do have solutions to them, and they can be solved with resilience. I made it to level 6, and some of the comments I've seen around, it's taken people a month simply to make it to level 49. This is one of those super hard games worth trying out. It's a challenging game, but it offers a fair challenge to the player that doesn't come from incompetent design. Also, just in case you don't speak Japanese, which I'm assuming most of my audience doesn't, the game thankfully comes with an English version built right in. If you do get far in this game, you're gonna have to screen cap that one for me because, no offense, I'm probably not going to believe you if you made it far in this game without showing. This game is available for Windows, and you can download it right from the developer's website, which you can find in the video description. So there you go, a few new indies for you to sink your teeth into, and I'm not being lazy. Let's celebrate! Thanks again to anybody who took a few minutes out of their day to watch my silly little program. If you know of any awesome indie games out there, feel free to drop me a line, addatworkproductions@yahoo.com. No indies were harmed in the making of this video.